Hello, and welcome to today's presentation, Breakthrough Emergency Survive and Thrive webinar, or as we like to call it, our best webinar. It's kind of ironic considering the issues that we had to deal with earlier, but I'm trust that you'll find the content to be worthwhile, valuable, aside from the technical issues we may have experienced earlier. So I appreciate your patience and us working through that. Finally got it resolved. Everything has changed. And if someone would have told us back in January that we'd be in this middle of a worldwide pandemic, at this time, most people probably think that we're in the middle of a sci-fi thriller. But it doesn't look like Will Smith or Dustin Hoffman or Matt Damon are going to come up with any miraculous cure anytime soon. But we do have best practices that we can use based on, in our market, based on experiences we've had in the past, and there are some solutions to get much-needed funding from several government bailout programs. First, allow me to introduce myself. A lot of folks refer to me as a turnaround artist with work I've done at Argosy, Agora Inc., as well as working with hundreds of businesses over the last 15 years on my own. I'm the author of the Breakthrough One-Page Marketing Plan. I've helped launch more than 100 different products and businesses. Former fellow at Johns Hopkins University. I also serve as associate professor at Community College of Baltimore County, where we started the Center for Business Innovation at CCBC, helping students and alumni launch new businesses. And for that, I was recently awarded the ACBSP's International Teaching Excellence Award. Very humbling to have received that award. And like I said, for about 15 years now, I've been running my own company called Breakthrough Pros, where we help businesses turn around and either launch new products, generate more leads, or close more sales. Right now, we are at a crossroads. We see a lot of businesses who are waving the white flag and shutting down. Others are digging in and trying to figure out how can we adapt, how can we change in this new market. So what I want to walk you through here today are some things that we're doing to help companies rebrand, but also get you some of that much needed assistance. So we're going to look at a couple different options. First is Survive, looking at the emergency relief assistance that's available. Second option, Thrive. We can rebrand, we can regrow in this new market. But what I like to think of as our best option is all three, Survive and Thrive. So just something fun, throw it in there. It's good to laugh a little bit every now and then, but one of my favorites, hope it's one of yours too. Interesting when we look at the word crisis. In China, and John F. Kennedy talked about this during the Bay of Pigs crisis, that there are two characters in the Chinese language for the word crisis. One is danger, and there certainly is a lot of risk that we're dealing with right now, and the other is opportunity. There are some opportunities that are being created out of this. I can't thank you all enough for your support, especially going through the technical issues that we've had with this webinar. But a lot of folks have jumped up and promoted this webinar to other folks. That probably would not have happened in any other type of situation. And we're seeing this quite a bit where a lot of people are supporting small businesses that they may not have gone out of their way to do otherwise. So it's created a lot of opportunities, and I just want to highlight a few here for you. We're seeing distilleries, whiskey distilleries, as well as beer manufacturers, converting over to produce hand sanitizers. At Community College of Baltimore County, we have a 3D printing lab, and there are many throughout the country. All those now are being used to create medical face masks. Out in Wisconsin, Eder Flag Company, they are redesigning their fabric to create air filtration liners for respirator masks for health workers. We also saw with Crocs, they're donating 100,000 pairs of Crocs shoes, which are easy to clean, very comfortable for nurses and doctors. Hotels are having to refocus, rebrand. They're no longer serving tourists. many hotels are located in cities where hospitals are across the street. Here in Baltimore, the hotel is serving as a place for doctors and nurses, healthcare workers to go and get some much-needed sleep and then return back to work. Aviation Gin, one of their core market segments are bartenders. So what are they doing? With 30% of all their sales are going into this national tip jar for bartenders. Ford, GM, Tesla are getting together and creating ventilators for patients using some of the air filters from the Ford F-150 trucks. We saw with Popeye's Chicken that they created a social media promotion in which they gave away their Netflix password and login information for 1,000 of its customers who posted on social media. Brilliant idea. Carvana, many people are familiar with Carvana, who what they do is they will deliver cars to you. It's almost like a huge vending machine with cars inside, and you actually have a car lowered down and then it's delivered to the customer. Car dealers now are having to take a page right out of their book, and they're now delivering cars to people at their homes so people don't have to go to the dealership. And they call it their touchless key exchange. Orderly is a business that helps people find order in their homes by cleaning out their closets, their pantry, helping them organize. Well, they're now doing that virtually. And before it was done in person, now it's being done virtually. Many folks are familiar with the fact that restaurants, bars are delivering food or offering takeout. Bud Light took it a step farther and created an app so that people can find those restaurants and bars that are actually delivering in their market area. They also have been promoting the dive bar tour. Well, there's now a home edition that they're offering with that. Many bars are shut down, so some are now allowed to deliver cocktails to people's homes. So they've relaxed the liquor laws in many states, so they can now do delivery. And there's actually businesses that are cropping up now to deliver your favorite cocktails. Dyson, known for creating vacuum cleaners, they are now retooled and they're making 10,000 ventilators. Borowski and Prosky in Pike's Place in Seattle, they created videos showing just how excited they are about their new sanitization procedures. You can also re-engage with folks. Here's OMD. It's a messaging service. Some of the restrictions on HIPAA and medical privacy laws have come down. So what has now happened is open up an opportunity for OMD to offer its services to doctors so that patients and doctors can communicate by text. This is a gym in New York City. They're offering virtual training for children who are stuck at home, not getting the activity, the exercise that they would normally get at school. They're now offering it through their gym virtually. DeSico and Sons, and a lot of stores are doing this. What they're now doing is offering a special time for those people who are seniors or they have compromised immune system to go into the store by themselves. They get a special time where they can go into the stores and not have to worry about either affecting other people. Brilliant idea. This is my brother-in-law, Bill Kelly, executive chef at Renditions Golf Course between Annapolis and Washington, D.C. A lot of restaurants are doing this where they will offer curbside delivery. What I thought was unique here, what he did is he created a whole menu. So each day there's a different dinner that you can pick up at his restaurant. And this is my wife and I dressed up as George Clooney and George Clooney's wife picking up delivery with our new homemade mask. So we had a little fun with it. Groupon, normally they're promoting events. People get together, go out, do axe throwing, or going to the racetrack and driving cars. We can't do that anymore. So what they're now offering are games, activities, products that people can now purchase and have delivered to their home. So they're having to refocus. Again, another fun one. I always find this one entertaining. So option one here is survive. A lot of businesses need that money now for relief, and we're going to talk about that right here. So there's several different programs. Let me walk you through them. And don't worry, I'm going to be sending you these PowerPoints so that you have it, and you can refer to them, and we'll try and pull together all these notes for you so you have it in one place. So the first one I want to talk about is SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Assistance. Now, SBA has always had this. What's different is that when Congress and the President signed the CARES Act, it expanded it, and it really did provide a lot of opportunities here. So this is for, generally speaking, it's for businesses to help them keep the doors open, basically. So you have to have less than 500 employees. This also includes gig workers, independent contractors, nonprofits, even churches. And it can be based solely on an applicant's credit score. What's nice about this is that some very attractive terms. Prior bankruptcy doesn't disqualify you, up to $200,000 can be approved without a personal guarantee. No collateral needed for loans less than $25,000. However, borrowers must allow the SBA to review tax records. And you can see over there on the right that loans are pretty attractive, loan terms, up to $2 million. Term is up to 30 years. Interest rate max is 3.75% for small business and 2.75% for nonprofits. You can defer the payments for the first year, and there's no loan fees and no repayment fees. Now, as part of this, there's also a $10,000 cash advance grant, and this is supposed to be used for paid leave, maintaining payroll, increased costs due to supply chain disruption, mortgage or lease payments, or repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue loss. So what's very interesting about this is that you can get this emergency cash even if you don't qualify for the additional funds under the EIDL program. And now SBA says that the grant can be granted within 3 days of application. However, I talked to the SBA this morning, and they're saying you need to allow up to 3 weeks to receive a response from SBA. They also advise check your spam email. You will, when you fill out this form, you will then get a call from an SBA loan officer who will talk to you and determine how much money to grant you. And the nice thing about the cash advance grant, you do not need to pay it back, believe it or not. So this is the link right here to fill out that loan application. It says it'll take you about 2 hours to fill it out. It'll take you 4 minutes. The only financial information that you need is, one, your revenue from 2019 and your cost of goods sold. So those are the only two financial figures that they're asking for. How they're going to figure out based on that how much you get, I don't know. And a lot of this has been put together very quickly, and banks, credit unions, lenders are trying to figure some of this stuff out, which has been a lot of reason for the confusion lately too. Another program is called, you may have heard about this, this is the Paycheck Protection Program, also under the CARES Act that was passed by Congress and signed by the President. So this is more for, as it sounds, payroll protection, to maintain your current staff. The last thing Congress, the President wants to see happen is that there's all these layoffs. We've had a lot of them already, and they're trying to curtail that, keep that down by giving money specifically so that you can meet your payroll obligations. So again, for companies with less than 500 employees, 501c3s, nonprofits, self-employed, sole proprietors, and gig workers all qualify here. So the loans can be up to either $10 million or 2.5 times the average monthly payroll cost, whichever is less. Now, this one issue, payroll cost, there's a lot of definitions to that. So you'll want to talk to your accountant about how you're defining payroll costs and make sure it's consistent with what you've been doing when you're allocating for or when you're requesting this money. And ideally, it's supposed to be used for payroll costs, but it can also be used for rent, utilities, and health care insurance premiums and other health care related costs. So you can apply to both the EIDL program that we just talked about and the Paycheck Protection Program as long as they're used to cover different expenses. So and this is true for if you get state assistance as well. Again, the loan terms are pretty attractive. Maximum interest rate is 4%. Term 10 years. It can be up to 30 years. No personal guarantee or collateral is required. You can defer up to the first year in payments. And here's the key. SBA will forgive loans if all employees are kept on the payroll for 8 weeks and the money is used for payroll, rent, mortgage interest, or utilities. So there's an incentive that they're trying to create to keep people on the payroll. So the next step that you want to do there is, you have the link right here, you need to work with your local bank lender, business lender, to with a bank or credit union, who will then walk you through this process. The key with all this, though, is that you can't take out two loans for the same purpose. So you can't have two loans just for payroll. They won't allow that. Now, there's some other relief packages available, too. The SBA debt relief. So this is for businesses who received the 7A loans to buy a business or obtain working capital. So SBA is going to pay the principal and interest on new 7A loans that were issued prior to September 27th of this year. SBA will pay the principal and interest for current 7A loans for a period of 6 months. So what you want to do next, if you're looking for some debt relief there, is contact the lender who awarded you the 7A loan in the first place. There's also bridge loans. So while you are filing for the economic injury disaster loan, you can get a bridge loan in the meantime. Pretty quick turnaround, can be repaid in full or in part with money from the there should be EIDL loan from the economic injury disaster loan. So the next step there is to contact your lender. Now, there's also state assistance available. So now the emergency relief loan is only for for-profit businesses, and it's for working capital like payroll, rent, mortgage payment, and utilities. So there's no interest or principal due for the first year. Then it converts to a 36-month term and interest payments with an interest rate at 2% per year. The Maryland COVID-19 Emergency Relief Grant Fund, now that's for businesses and nonprofits. Again, working capital is what they're asking that to be used for. And you can get grants up to $10,000, not to exceed 3 months of demonstrated cash operating expenses for the first quarter of 2020. So this is available for businesses less than 50 full-time and part-time employees. So both full-time and part-time is counted as the number of employees. You're going to need some financial documentation. You have to have a minimum credit score of 575, and you got to demonstrate some financial stress that's occurred because of the COVID-19, and that can mean reduced sales, increased costs due to prevention measures, as well as a shortage of inventory. The link for you is provided here, commerce.maryland.gov. You can start there, but to get that assistance, you would need to go to that website. Again, we got to smile a little bit. We got to have a little laugh. One of the big things I learned out of the 9/11 is that it is sometimes okay to laugh, and we need more of that, especially right now. All right, so we talked about option one, survive in terms of the emergency relief assistance. Option two is thrive. There are opportunities that are being created here. May need to rebrand, regrow, refocus. So that's what we've been working with a lot of clients here lately, is how to retool, refocus, redesign, rebuild, re-engage with your audience, all under this general category of rebranding. So we walk through several steps with our one-page breakthrough brand builder, And I'm going to walk you through the first four here, which are the most critical, so you have that. The first thing you always want to do is ask yourself who. Who is our ideal target market? And that may be different right now compared to what you're doing before. For example, I got a email promotion from a company that is an event planner where they do moon bounces and games for events, for big parties. Well, they can't do that anymore. So what are they doing? They're now marketing it to people with families so they can then have that moon bounce just come out to their backyard or their family to get the kids out of the house. A great idea. But you want to look at, who is our ideal target market right now? Are you going to men or women? Be careful with this. 80% of all household purchase decisions are made by the women in the house. In general, men may be writing the checks, but it's the woman who is the real decision maker. So you need to be careful about who exactly you're marketing to. Who are the decision makers here? What are they aspiring to? What are they looking to do next as part of their aspirations? And what is their role in the decision-making process? What are they listening to? What are they going for information right now? So as much information you can get about your target market, the better. Interestingly enough, Duluth Trading went through this exact same exercise back in the late 2000s. Believe it or not, the company was in trouble, and they were on the verge of bankruptcy. And they were having to refocus and look at how they were marketing their business and who they were marketing it to. And some of the executives were asking, why are we meeting about this when we're in survival mode? Many businesses right now are in the same situation. They're in survival mode. But out of this, you can grow. There are opportunities. And the place to begin, notice what they did. They first went to who are their best customers. And then from there, they designed products and services for those customers. So a lot of times companies will ask themselves, what do we have to sell? That's the wrong way to go about it. Instead, who is it that you're trying to market to? It's much easier to try to sell something to somebody when they already have a problem or a need than it is to try to convince them of the product or need. So you always start with who, and then develop the products or services around those people for those particular needs. So give me an example with Duluth. They're asking themselves, who is our ideal target market? So they looked at defining that very closely, and what they were looking at is specifically who are their most profitable customers already, and how can we find more people just like them? And they found that these were gritty Midwestern men. They work, I put that in quotes, because they're not doing the landscaping like landscapers are, or tree trimmers, or doing the 9-to-5 type work like many people in the trade, but they want to be outdoors working around the house, but they want to be comfortable. They want to have durable clothes, plenty of pockets, reflect that modern, self-reliant American lifestyle. I love this. They talk about the construction worker in all of us. So even though there's only 12% of the population who are in the trades, they're reaching a broader market of people who want to have that trade type of lifestyle if it's only for a few hours on the weekend. And also allow them to work in hot, cold conditions. The average age, 40 to 65. And they have household incomes of $75,000 at least. And they appreciate the self-deprecating humor that has made Duluth famous. So you can see how detailed they're getting in defining their target market, more specifically, their ideal target market that they want to serve. So after you identified who is your ideal target market, and granted, that may be different what it is now compared to what it was just 2 months ago. Once you identified that ideal target market, then you want to ask the question, what? What is the problem or pain your target market is experiencing? This is critical. So every product, every service is designed to solve some type of problem. So what is the problem that they have? What's the solution that you can offer? And how will your target market then benefit from the solutions you have to offer? A lot of people leave this last one out. You want to make a connection, say, okay, we know you have a problem. Here's the solution. Now here's how you're going to benefit from the solution we have to offer. Here's an example. So we have coffee. A lot of people would put that into one category. But each one of these products is designed to serve a different problem. So the double shot energy, obviously, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or in the first wake up in the morning, you need a jolt. You need something to get you going, maybe a little bit more than a cup of coffee. It's also good for you. Starbucks created a drink just for that particular market segment who has that particular problem. Keurig. A lot of times you make, coffee pot for 8 cups, and you're throwing half of it out because nobody likes the other people in the household don't like the same coffee. Well, Keurig solves that problem. Just make a cup. Each person can have different flavors, and it's perfect, especially today. Or you need coffee on a cold day, cold, chilly morning. Well, that's a different market, different segment who has a different problem. So, even if something as simple as coffee, you have different marketing messages for those different segments. So everything is about a pain that you're trying to solve and the benefit that you would be able to deliver. And this is where we get into the old sales acronym of FAB, talking about the features, advantages, and benefits. Many businesses do not do a very good job with this. They simply say, oh, we have some features, advantages, and a customer is saying, well, so what? What does this have to do with me? This is where you connect it back to the benefit that they get from your product or service. So features are the physical characteristics, like the color of the car, the style. The advantage is how that product can be used to help them. And then the benefit is what the customer receives. And usually it's one of these 5. Either going to save money or make money, or they're going to save time. And these last 2 are really important. Oftentimes it's make you feel good or look good. So usually most products and services fall into one of those 5 categories. And that's where you want to link the benefit back to the features and advantages that you have to offer. Here's some good examples. Maybe familiar with Purple Mattress Company. They say it best. Mattress technology hasn't really changed in over 40 years. That's the problem. So rather than just repurpose memory foam like everybody else, we got our hands dirty with some hardcore macromolecular science, whatever that is. 30 patents later, the Purple Smart Comfort Grid was born. Now we have the features. Some call it game-changing or even breakthrough innovation. Now we have the advantages being offered. A lot of companies would stop there, and what I love is that they add on the benefits here. We just love helping people sleep and feel better. What's interesting is you'll notice that there's some eggs on that glass. What she does is she drops it down and shows how firm the mattress is, yet how soft it is at the same time. Here's another example. Cranberry Ocean Spray does a really nice job talking about their features, advantages, and benefits. This is Ocean Spray Cranberry Juice Cocktail. It tastes real good. It's also packed with powerful nutrients. Okay, now we have the features. They cleanse and purify your body and help strengthen your immune system. Now we have the advantages they're derived from the features. Ocean Spray Cranberry Juice Cocktail tastes good for you. Now you have the benefits. This is a client we worked with, Get Fit in Amarillo, Texas. They focus mostly on women runners and walkers as well, but everything that they do is around trying to serve women in their market. for things like apparel fitting, bra fitting, for shoe fitting, because they know that women have different wants and needs for their products than men do. So they designed everything around trying to serve women. Again, just need a little laugh every now and then. All right, next is where. Where are you going to reach your ideal target market? Where are you going to grab their attention? And this is where you have to put yourself in the shoes of your customer and ask, where do they live? Where do they spend their time? Now, today, it may be actually where they live because everybody's stuck at home. So if you have home addresses, a lot of your target market, you're going to be able to get in front of them. Your mail is probably one of the best opportunities to reach them. So other places where you're going to be able to reach them is online. Everybody's online now. Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube are some great opportunities for you. But the key is to put yourself in the shoes of your prospect. But you can't do this until you identify, first and foremost, who that ideal target market is. So you can look at where they're located geographically. Also, if you're going to a business, where are they on the organizational chart? Who's involved in the decision-making process, whether to go forward with your product or business? What's the best form of communication to reach your prospect? It may be different right now than what it was just 2 months ago. Again, LinkedIn is great for B2B. For B2C, probably more Instagram that you would use. So where are you going to deliver your best, where are you going to get in front of your best people and get the best ROI for your money? So now marketing in terms of direct mail is an excellent way to reach people. Like I said, everybody's at home right now. This is a great opportunity to do some direct mail marketing. And best of all, only a 1% response rate is usually needed to deliver a good ROI. Believe it or not, 99% of the people can throw it away. Yes, we know that. But if 1% takes you up on that offer, chances are you're going to be very profitable just on that 1%. That's why so many businesses do it. And when I talk about direct mail, just don't think about a postcard or a letter in the mail. Here's one we did with a message in a bottle. If you got that in your mailbox, do you think you would open it? Absolutely. Or a bank bag. And we often will put on the outside the message, here's an offer you can put right into the bank. So we're talking about either saving money or making money through this type of offer. Perfect for a bank bag that you can put in people's mailbox. Another one we love is a trash can. Have a lot of fun with that one. It's a small trash can. It's about 3 inches wide by 5 inches high. And usually we send this after we've sent several other promotions that they just didn't respond. And what we'll do is we'll put that letter, stuff it inside the trash can, and say, we tried reaching you several other times. You probably threw those letters away. We went ahead and did it for you this time. But here's why you shouldn't. This is another one, a tear sheet that we sent out to folks offering a free report. And believe it or not, this thing got a 13% response rate. Remember I told you, you only need a 1%? This got 13 times that. Very, very effective. This is another one where we did a postcard, again, promoting a report. And that was the first step that we had in our funnel that people took, and then we followed up with a bank bag after that. This did $500,000 in sales for the client. It did fantastic. So oftentimes you can use a report or information, whether it's in print, digital, as the first step in your lead generation tool. So usually I would go into now why people would do business with you, but I want to get into the fourth element here, which is how. How are customers going to do business with you? Because that's usually the biggest question people have right now because there are so many restrictions on where we can go. And so the how is very, very important. I want to address that here. Again, this is all about your funnel. How are your customers going to do business with you? Your first step, next step. And we may need to rethink things here a little bit. It may not always be about making a sale. It may be more about building a list of good qualified prospects so that when they are ready to make a purchase decision, you are top of mind, first and foremost. So you want to be careful with this. Some businesses want to be careful as far as constantly asking for sales right now. Others should be. It just depends on your particular market and product. Let me give you some examples. So remember I talked to you about Get Fit, the store in Amarillo, Texas. So what they're offering now are virtual fittings. So you have a virtual fitting for your shoes, apparel that you may need. You can do that with a person on their staff. So now they've taken their store virtual. You can also shop online, have it delivered to your home. So they're doing some excellent stuff in terms of trying to still stay in front of people, because so many people have relied on them over the years. This is a idea book that one of our clients does in Colorado. It's a deck building company. You can see they build very, very nice decks, which makes it a great portfolio. So a lot of people right now are thinking about their house and thinking, we got to do this project, we got to do that project. They're looking around and seeing all the work that they have to do. It's a great opportunity for home remodelers, deck builders, landscapers to get out in front of their prospect with a book, a portfolio showing all the work that could be done on their home and getting that out there so that as they're thinking about the work that they should do, they can have an idea book in front of them, giving them some ideas of how they can improve the look of their deck or their home. This is another one we just did for a client, Valley Landscaping. Took all the projects that they had done over the years and put it together into a book. So as people are thinking about their backyard and whether it's safe for the kids to be out there or just staring out in the backyard and thinking about all the things that they could do, these are some ideas that we're giving them that they could think about based on the work that Valley Landscaping has done for clients over the years. This is another one, do a conference for credit unions, and we have been talking about things that we were doing to make sure people were safe regarding COVID-19, but it wasn't until we did a video and openly talking about that we got a lot of people saying thank you, and we got some good feedback from that. And I would encourage a lot of businesses to do more video and getting to know you, your people. Restaurants, I don't think is doing enough of this. You have your favorite servers. What if some of those servers are doing videos talking about the things that they're doing with their family right now to continue that relationship? That's one of the big things that businesses talk about all the time is we need to establish a relationship of trust with our customers. Yet when this has happened, they've shut that off. It's a great opportunity for you to stay in touch with people. Let them know what's happening. Just talk to them. You had this relationship. This is a time to continue it and nurture it and not let it die. This is having this is some straight from 9/11 as well as from the 2007-2008 crisis, where you ask people to buy now, pay later. And you're seeing this with the car companies right now. They're doing a very good job with this, bringing it back. And a lot of companies like restaurants, they'll say, sorry, we're closed, but we have curbside delivery. No, turn that curbside delivery into a benefit. You don't need to apologize for that. And car companies are not apologizing for the fact that some of the showrooms are restricted. Instead, they're talking about the benefit here of how they're able to help you. 90-day deferred payment. Here's one with Nissan, where we're talking about make no payments for 6 months. Ford, they're going to defer 3 payments and make 3 payments. All these are terrific ways to stay in front of your customers. And what's interesting is that a lot of businesses, a lot of people want to support small businesses. So now is the time. Let's not apologize, but let's stay out there and think about how you need to refocus, rebrand. So We talked about a couple things. We talked about survive, getting that emergency relief assistance. We talked about thrive, how you can rebrand and grow. What I'm proposing is that it's both. If you're just looking at surviving and getting a check, all that's going to do is just recover your losses. There may be opportunities here for you to be able to grow again, or at least stay in front of people so that when they are ready to buy, you be top of mind. So what I'm proposing is that we concentrate on both survive and thrive. How? Take advantage of the federal state relief assistance. There's quite a bit that's available there. And then rebrand with our 4 breakthrough steps. Again, always start with the question, who? Who is your ideal target market? Then you can get into, well, what are the problems, solutions, and benefits that you can offer? So the problems are the pain that they're experiencing, the challenges. The solution is what you can offer, and the benefits is how they're going to gain by the solution that you're able to offer. Where are you going to reach them? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be with a mailing to their home? And how are you going to do business with them? What are the steps in that process? So I hope you found this helpful, and I'm sure you probably had some questions about your particular business. Be glad to talk with you about it. We're offering a free quick start consultation. So for more guidance how you can survive and thrive, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. I'd be glad to talk with you about it, and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy, and look forward to talking to you again.